Well, now on RTE1, in this rich and rare land of ours, Lima Muraku journeys to County Westmeath.
A rich and rare land. This week, the undiscovered Lake District of Ireland. Beside Lough Ennel is Belvedere House, and on the opposite shore, Lilliput House has come alive in the service of tourism. The ruined monastery of Abbey's-Rule has memories of ancient times, but the local air show is firmly rooted in this 20th century. Mullingar Pewter, an industry recently revived, is thriving now, as is its twin venture Genesis, reflecting in bronze many images of this rich and rare land. The undiscovered Lake District of Ireland. This is Lough Ennel.
Scarce think it possible to have such a variety of beauties in so small a compass.
If and when the house, now the property of the Westmeath County Council, is ever restored to its former grandeur, the same could certainly be true again. With its rich parkland looking over the lake, Belvedere, it literally means beautiful to see, was named from its original owner, Robert Rochford, 1st Earl of Belvedere.
Robert Rochford must have been a very jealous man, and he proved it in more ways than one. He was an MP and away off from this place, away off from the Houses of Parliament in London for long periods at a time, leaving a young and attractive wife behind him here all alone with very little to do. He had a brother also who was living nearby, and he too is part of the tragic story of Belvedere House. The wife, in order to while away the long, lonely hours, began to fancy she had a lover, and to this end began to write love letters to herself. These were discovered in due course, the brother was presumed guilty of them and fled, and the wife was literally locked up to be kept safe away for years in this place. But that wasn't all. He had another brother who had the cheek or the misfortune to build a house nearby, Tuddenham House, which could be seen from the front of Belvedere. Well, nobody did that kind of thing to the proud Robert Rochford. So he built a wall between them, the jealous wall, to cut out the sight of Tuddenham. Now there's spite for you.
There it is in all its glory, the jealous wall, there because of a quarrel between brothers. That 1st Earl of Belvedere and his brother George, the owner of the nearby Tuddenham House, now in ruins. To make it look authentic, it was built as an artificial ruin of an old abbey, but its sole purpose was to keep out of sight his brother's residence, of which he was jealous. His unfortunate wife locked up because of jealousy, his brother cut off for the same reason. How right was the Bard of Avon, "O jealousy, thou green-eyed monster." The swimming and bathing areas of Westmeath for the 6th year in succession have received the coveted Blue Flag Awards. One of them was for the bathing area at Lilliput on Lough Ennel. It's the only inland county to have achieved this, surely a tribute to the cleanliness of the water and the amenities which have been developed adjacent to the lakes. Here, visitors are assured not only of clean bathing water and life-saving equipment, but also a safe, clean environment in which to relax and enjoy a pleasant day out. One of the prime movers in all this was local master builder Michael Kirby.
Out there, Michael, is Lough Ennel, and there in the distance is Belvedere House. And this is Lilliput. What's the connection?
Well, Lilliput, its connection with Jonathan Swift. When Jonathan Swift was at school in Kilkenny College, which was then a Protestant college, the Boyd Rochfords, or Rochfords as they were then, from Middleton Park, Castletown Gagan was their home. They were the local landlords. They owned the lake, the surroundings, and they owned this house called Lilliput, with 80 acres adjoining the lake, with a half a mile of a lake shore. And they came on holidays each summer. This was their summer house. And one of the summers, one of the Rochfords that was at school at Kilkenny brought Jonathan Swift, who was also in Kilkenny, back on their holidays here. And on a fine summer's day, as was wont to have in these times, more than we have now, although today is a great one, they crossed the lake across to Belvedere House, and it's 3 mile across the lake. The lake is 7 mile long and 3 mile wide. And on the far shore, they looked back in the distance, and Jonathan Swift, seeing the people so diminutive in the 3 mile distance and a haze of heat, said, he looked at the small, how small they looked. There was born the seed of Lilliputian, Gulliver's Travels, and all his book.
Now an integral part of the County Westmeath tourist trails, Lilliput House in the Jonathan Swift Park on the shores of Lough Ennel has been fully restored. The old stables are now a restaurant, and the house itself, back to what it was in Swift's time, is a tribute to the man who restored it, very much as a labour of love.
And I thought here was a lovely house. It was down to the top windows, the roof gone, the walls gone, but I said here. And the position it had overlooking the lake, and the amount of frontage, lake frontage we had. Here I came on my bare feet to swim, to fish, and all the boys that had bicycles came with bicycles, and we loved every minute of it. And I was hoping that my children and their children would get the same enjoyment out of simple things as this. That was my initial idea in having it open, that again a gate never could be closed here, that everyone was welcome. That was my idea, and that is still my idea of maintaining its openness. Here I saw it decaying, and to see it roofed, walls restored, here I saw something rising out of the ashes of decay, phoenix-like, and to me this was a thrill, particularly in my home ground.
With its par 3 golf course, its trout angling and coarse fishing, its swimming and its woodland and lake shore walks, Lilliput is now surely back on the map, not as a figment of the imagination of Jonathan Swift, but as a real-life amenity for the people of our time. And nearby Crow Inish, where King Malachy died, he was the one who wore the collar of gold which he won from a proud invader. That quiet place looks out now upon the waters of a lake old in song and story, but with a bright new future in the life of this rich and rare land. Hardly a river, more of a rivulet or a stream in the lakelands of Westmeath. Through the arch of a bridge on a canal nearby, you can see the lush green countryside through which the Inny flows. Its name derived from a princess who was drowned there in the old god's time, Ehenna, daughter of a king and wife of a king. It's a quiet place, this, with nothing much moving but the water through the reeds, a place where, as Yeats has it, one might surely take life easy as the grass grows on the weirs. It's from this stream, in Irish the word is Sruil, that the place takes its name, Monastery Sruil, the monastery by the stream, Abbey Sruil.
A little pool, but very clear, to stand beside the place where all men's sins are washed away by sanctifying grace. My choice of men to live with me and pray to God as well. Quiet men of humble mind, their number I shall tell. 4 files of 3 or 3 of 4 to give the Psalter forth. 6 to pray by the south church wall and 6 along the north. 2 by 2 my dozen friends to tell the number right, praying with me to move the King who gives the sun its light.
Aglish even anartach, áitrih dé ó neamh, Queen le an go solaswar, ó scriptúr glán gal.
A little house where all may dwell and bodies' care be sought, where none shows lust or arrogance, none thinks an evil thought.
Leor de via is de vratdom, on ri is Queen coil. Me vesje shalim hion, e gui day san oit.
All the saintly peace and quiet of this tranquil place suddenly erupts into a great clamour of excitement on the second Sunday of August every year, when the annual Abbey Srule Air Show takes place. Ted Bogooey's Rustic Inn is alive with the sound not of music, but of the flying fraternity from the 4 corners of Ireland and from much farther afield. There's a great buzz in the air, as why should there not be, with everything on wings on call, including members of the US Air Force, display pilots from Britain, visitors from Germany, and of course our own Irish Air Corps, who participate each year. In a word, it's a great day out which the thousands who flock here thoroughly enjoy, watching the aerobatics in action and admiring the stunts of the high flyers in the game. Years ago, the music halls were singing, "Oh, there's room for 2, me and you, in your tricycle motor car." What would they make of this tricycle that can fly? And the daring young man on the flying trapeze, whose movements were graceful and gallant to please, had nothing on these boys, except that he was a lot closer to terra firma if he happened to fall. The Air Corps, with the scars and wounds of battle already all too evident upon them, and armed to the teeth against any would-be enemy, go off to find a flying volunteer and press gang him into their urgent service. It'll be a tricky business up there all alone in the clouds, with nothing but the flimsy wings to guide him, and what's more, him never in the cockpit of a plane before, not to mind fly one. But is not a reason why needs can when needs must, and even a long-haired hippie can do it when he has to.
Go on, George, you better sort this out because we could find the show being slowed down here. What are you doing? You crossed the hippie. Leave him alone. I'm sorry about this, ladies and gentlemen. What do you want to do?
And away they go, those daring young men in their flying machines. Godspeed, agus slán a bhaile go talamh na meoll. A replica of the 8th century Ardagh chalice. It's here, with other artifacts of its kind, in the showrooms of Effat